Not only is this potentially the best Toyota currently on the market, I think this 2025 Camry going into the 2026 model year now, this could be the best Camry ever made. And if you guys are lovers of the Camry, let's hit that like button and let's get on with the review. And special thanks to Southeast Toyota and Germain Toyota Naples for giving me this base LE to review. This newest generation of Camry that debuted for the 25 model year did something we've never seen before, and that was bring the Camry as a full hybrid. I'll figure out this prop stick one of these days. You push up and then you swing it down. Full hybrid. And so now there's this one powertrain on the Camry, no longer a 4-cylinder, mated to an 8-speed auto, no longer a V6 option. This Camry is 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder hybrid with an eCVT. It doesn't have belts and pulleys. This is essentially the same hybrid system as been perfected by Toyota since the late 90s when it was introduced in the Prius. Now, the Prius doesn't have this sort of power. This has 225 horsepower, for example, in front wheel drive. The LE is front wheel drive. However, you can option it with all wheel drive and they'll give you 232 horsepower, but it will cut into your fuel economy just a tad. EPA estimates on fuel economy is around 50 miles per gallon in this LE, but I'm telling you, with my review in the past, when I filled it up after churning through some miles, I was able to get 62 miles per gallon. Now there are some tricks and hacks to get that sort of fuel economy, and we're going to be doing that today when we get to driving it. But 50 miles per gallon is going to be pretty easy to obtain, even if you have a heavy foot, all right? This powertrain is also essentially bulletproof. There's essentially zero transmission you have to worry about failing. And this 2.5 liter 4-cylinder has been proven to be essentially bulletproof through its employment in things like the RAV4, this Camry here, and other models for Toyota. There's no TRD anymore. There's no fancy high performance models. This is what you get. So when you pay base price for an LE, you're essentially getting the top of the line powertrain that you see also on the XSE or XLE. In fact, this is going to be the base powertrain and only powertrain that's not fully electric in the Lexus ES. And in fact, I think this is going to be a better vehicle than the Lexus ES while costing about half as much. And we'll talk about that in our review today. When this came out in the spring of 24, this sort of design Toyota's hammerhead styling. The Camry is one of the first vehicles to employ it. The RAV4 redesign coming out late 2025 is going to take it a step further and have different variations. This LE trim, in fact, is one of the better looking front ends of the Camry. Now, it doesn't have the fancier headlights, the LED daytime running lights that you see on the XSE and XLE, but these, I've tested them at night and they do an amazing job illuminating the road. So there's no issue in terms of lighting and performance. They just don't have all that glitz and glam. In fact, this looks better than the XSE model, which paint matches the bottom portion. The XLE looks a little bit better because it has a nice sparkly gray finish to this grille here at the bottom. We also have active shutters in here to achieve better fuel economy, better aerodynamics. But let me know which front end of the Camry you like best. This LE, I think, looks as good as any of them, to be honest. And I like how the Toyota logo is kind of smashed on that hammerhead. It looks fantastic. Now, the side profile of the Camry is very familiar. It almost looks identical to the generation that preceded it. Now, what's new for this base Camry LE hybrid is alloy wheels. Before, I think the Camry base hybrid had hubcaps and steel wheels. These are a nice upgrade compared to the previous generation. These allow you to get the best ride quality because look at the thickness of the tire. These are 65 thickness tire, 205 width. All right, they're not going to provide the best grip compared to an XSE with 18 or available 19-inch wheels, but those things essentially kill your fuel economy at the sake of looking cooler. And they also hurt acceleration the bigger the wheel size gets. So not only do these wheels provide the best ride quality, they also provide you the best acceleration, as I've found out in my multiple testings versus other trim levels. All right, so they may look dorky, they may look unsuspecting, but these are the best wheels you can get on the Camry, and go figure, they are the base wheels. Camry, other than that, looks good. Wheelbase hasn't changed. It is still essentially the same bones as a previous generation Camry, but when you drive it, it drives so much different than a 24 model year, for example. On the back, we have incandescent bulbs just like we did for the front turn signals, nothing too fancy. Camry written out on the back of the trunk lid. This has an optional spoiler on the LE, which I think is just funny because this is the least sporty model. Beyond Zero hybrid logo here. Still have a button to pop the trunk here. Huge trunk. You can fold down the seats with these two levers. I believe there's even a light down here as well. And I want to say this will give you a spare tire too, and it absolutely does underneath the floor jack. And I think you might omit the spare tire if I remember correctly on some of the higher trim levels, but this gives you a spare for the least amount of money. Now, getting in the back seat of the Camry, this does have a power driver's seat as an option here. I went ahead and moved this seat up manually. The passenger seat here is a manual adjustment. Tons of legroom. I have vents back here. I have USB-Cs and a USB-A. Dome light above. I have a handle above each window option. Great headroom. I even have a fold down armrest. This has the gray interior. I think it might be called Boulder, for example. And these seats breathe really, really well here in the hot Florida sun. You don't need to get the fancier leather seats on the upper grade or even fake leather, because tell you what, these are gonna do a better job than any of those in terms of cooling you down. I've been filming for about 15 minutes so far. The engine hasn't turned on once. So it's just, you know, that's one of the amazing things about a hybrid. The engine won't run unless it has to, but it's starting to get hot out here. It's 81 degrees, you guys know Florida. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the AC on. AC in here is unbelievably good. Once this vehicle's cooled down, you only need 1 to 2 fan speeds in the hottest of weather. So Toyota's absolutely crushed the air conditioning here. I will say that the vent placement, and this doesn't change on trim level, but the vent placement could be better. I'd like them to be a little bit higher. In fact, I would like the vents to flip-flop with this control panel here, but I'm just nitpicking at this point. I do have physical climate control. This has an optional cold weather package, which gives me a leather wrapped steering wheel, a heated steering wheel with this button right here, 2 different settings, and then heated front seats here, both driver and passenger. It's a great package. I would be getting it despite living here in Florida just because I love the quality and comfort of this leather steering wheel. It is amazing. Now, it does have a tiny screen. I want to say it's something like an 8-inch screen here. I don't care. I don't care to have big screens in here. If you want to splurge on the 12-inch screen, go for it. It's not like it's going to be a game changer. I still have my Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. That's going to be wireless here. Standard is a wireless charger as well. Behind the steering wheel is a simple to use and easy to play with 7-inch screen. On the higher trims, you can get a 12-inch screen. And while it looks prettier, it gives you more information, it is much more difficult to mess with, especially while you're driving. So for simplicity and just everyday usage, this system is great. The only knock, I would say, that I have on this system is, and this is whatever Toyota, why they did this, I don't know. All right, so now they incorporated an easy escape button. In the past, they didn't have this easy escape button, so that's great. So I can get back into the base software. They don't have, I'm getting to it, what drives me crazy, they don't have your, and I'm already, I only need 1 fan speed already. Anyways, they don't have my energy monitor for what the hybrid is doing. In fact, it's still there, but I have to choose to put it on my 7-inch screen. But if I put my hybrid monitor on the 7-inch screen, then I lose my fuel economy reading. So I'm constantly flipping back and forth between my fuel economy and my energy monitor, just because I'm a dork. I like seeing both of those metrics. My old Prius has those metrics, and you can have them both up at the same time. For some reason in this Camry, Toyota has removed it from the base software, the hybrid energy monitor. Most people won't care. That's just one small gripe that I have. 99% of people who are driving this car won't give a crap. This doesn't bother me. When this vehicle was launched, this huge glossy bezel, it hasn't blinded me once. And yeah, it's out of touch's way, so it's not gonna collect too much dust, fingerprints, scratches. All this around here is kind of a dull plastic. So from like a driver's perspective, an ergonomic perspective, this is all absolutely perfect. I have a tilt and telescopic steering wheel. The seats on the base LE Camry are actually the most comfortable seats throughout the whole Camry lineup. They're not that comfortable, to be honest. They're a bit like IKEA furniture feeling, but I've sat in the leather seats on the upper grades and the synthetic leather seats on an SE grade, and those are very sweaty and they're very stiff. They're just not very comfortable. These cloth seats are by far the most comfortable, and you spend the least amount of them on the Camry lineup. All right, traditional shifter here. I have sport mode if I want to. I have auto brake hold, electronic parking brake, blind spot monitor standard. I have radar cruise control, lane keep assist. all the technology I can want and ask for here on the base grade. And then again, I have the great option of having a leather wrapped steering wheel on the cold weather package, I guess you could say. So this is the largest Monroney sticker I've ever seen. And I'm giving you guys some tips. I love Southeast Toyota because they're super helpful. I love my local dealer. They're super helpful getting me into these cars. Just keep in mind that this car from the factory only has a few options. It has the convenience package, which it has the power driver's seat, auto dimming rearview mirror with home link. So I have garage door openers here, and smart key access system. So I don't need to get and fumble with the key when I'm walking up to the car to unlock it. It automatically unlocks. Okay, that's $1,000 upgrade. I think that's totally worth it. The cold weather package, $610, totally worth it. Premium paint, this is the Supersonic red. Is it worth the $475? Maybe, all right, that's a maybe. What we have here is Southeast Toyota's add-ons, and do your best to negotiate these as best as possible. 2 oil changes at any dealer and 4 tire rotations and roadside assistance, $700. I would avoid that, all right? Carpet floor mats and trunk mat, $449. You can get them for cheaper than that. Clear paint protection, maybe that's worth it for you. Rear spoiler, maybe that's worth it for you, $250, okay? Screen protector at $129. I found them for $14 online, all right? So negotiate that out of the price if you can. Same thing with USBs. They include a USB charging cable package. Negotiate that as well. That's $79. You can get them from dirt cheap online, okay? And then the dealers also put on their own things as well. Window tint for $249. I think that's a good deal. I like the window tint on here. I would not try to negotiate that out of the deal. And ceramic paint protection, paint guard, leather guard, fiber guard, that might be tough to negotiate out of the deal as well. I think it might be worth it depending on your climate. Here in Florida, it's so hot, the sun is so aggressive that having ceramic paint might be worth it. Okay, and that's $799. So this car with MSRP is $30,835. Okay, but then you have $1,854 in options. You have DHP, which you can't get out of, which is $1,160. And then you have the additional $1,000 from the dealer, which gets this car up to $35,000. Even at $35,000, I think this car is a good deal. I'm not saying you should spend that much on an LE. If you can find this car, and we will see at the end how good this is, it stacks up on the spreadsheet. If you can get this car for around $30,000, it's one of the best, if not the best buy in America for a brand new car. And let's start driving so I can show you why. Dog and Dr. Dre is at the guys, I'm telling you, this bass sound system is unreal. It sounds better than many manufacturers' optional sound systems. In fact, I think this is a better, well-rounded sound system than the JBL. It's not quite as loud. There's not quite as much sound coming from the back compared to the JBL, but the bass hits hard, it shakes the seats in here. It doesn't rattle the doors. I've had the JBL sound system in Camrys rattle the doors, and it just muddies the sound, and it sounds cheap, doesn't sound good. No. The base Camry has the best sound system, and it costs less. Let's keep driving. I don't have a 360 camera. Great backup camera though, very clear, predictive lines. This steering in here is butter. It's a luxury. It has a nice firmness to it, a nice resistance to the steering wheel, but absolute butter. And that's what this car is. This is a Lexus for, I wouldn't say bargain basement Toyota pricing, all right? It's not the cheapest Toyota. That's the Corolla that I reviewed last week, all right? The Corolla. This costs about $5 grand more than a base Corolla, and it's about 5 times better the car. It is unbelievable how smooth and quiet this is at low speeds. The engine just kicked on, and I only know that, not because I felt it, is because I saw it on the screen, right? The little EV icon went away. It is so smooth, so quiet, so cush. These like small wheels and fat tires make for an old school luxury ride, but not the heft of like a luxury vehicle. It's still nimble, it still handles really, really well. All right, again, the comfort of these seats, big people are gonna feel comfortable in them, small people, and again, the cloth seats are the most comfortable within the Camry's lineup. Some people complain about the steering feel in the Camry. I think the steering feels great in here. Maybe it's a little vague at times, But it's an absolute non-factor. I actually enjoy the steering feel in here quite a bit. Like I said, it's so smooth. Now I did bring my drag meter because I wanted to show you that this can do 0 to 60 in the 7-second range. That's going to kill my fuel economy, but I'm okay just to show that for science's sake today. We're going to torque brake here. A little wheel spin. It kept spinning the wheels. And there's 60. 7.17. And I was fighting for grip. 7.1 seconds, 0 to 60, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, and 7.57. Like, it's essentially a 7-second 0 to 60 car that gets 60 miles per gallon. It's just unbelievable. To give you an idea, my fuel economy this week is 50.5, but that's what the computer's saying. If I were to fill this up, which unfortunately I don't have the time this week. I got to return this car actually today, but if I were to fill it up, I always, at least in my testing, I always score higher than what the computer tells me in Toyota hybrids. So that's a good thing. And this is Toyota's 5th gen hybrid. The RAV4 doesn't have it quite yet. It's getting it later this year. And I'm in fully electric now, just coasting at the speed limit around 30 miles an hour here on this road. And it's just so quiet in here. It's luxury quiet. I do have every once in a while a little bit of noise come through this window. It is not acoustic glass. There's nothing fancy about it. But Toyota has done so much magic with this new generation Camry to make it like a luxury car. It's crazy. All right, at a stop here, engine's off, so I forgot to turn auto brake hold on, so I'll reapply that. It's not memory, so every time you turn the car off, it forgets that you like auto brake hold. I don't hear the cars passing in front of me. And just accelerating here, mild press of the pedal, and it's just effortless. So smooth, so quiet as I'm gaining speed. And let's talk about how you want to maximize fuel economy in this car. Well, you got to be aware of your surroundings. If you're holding up traffic, trying to save fuel economy, you're a jerk, okay? Don't be that jerk trying to maximize your MPGs and there's a line of cars behind you, all right? Go the speed limit at the very minimum. Get to that speed limit at leisure. You don't have to do it quick. If there's no one behind you, take your time getting up to the speed limit. The speed limit here, I'm already going past. It's 45, all right? And since I'm going 47, I'm just cruising right now. Right now it says I'm getting about 40 miles per gallon and going 45. And the reason is because the car's recharging the battery. But I went probably 2 to 3 miles earlier, sustaining 45 miles an hour in full EV mode because the battery was at a happy spot and I wasn't running the AC that hard. So it's just incredibly efficient as long as you are intending it to be incredibly efficient. If you're heavy on the pedal and it just goes, man, it just goes and pulls hard. There was 60, so it went from 45 to 60 in just like 3 seconds. I think it's plenty fast for the streets. And the engine is so quiet in here. I'm driving also a Sonata inline this week. I know it's a sporty car, but the engine is so loud in there. It's not a very relaxing experience, and it shouldn't be. I guess it's a performance-focused variant of their sedan. But like even at full tilt, the engine in here is quiet, quieter than like the Crown Signia, for example. If you put pedal down on the Crown Signia, it is loud, and it's not as fast as this car. This has a more peppy 5th gen hybrid compared to the Crown Signia in the Toyota lineup, which is a much more expensive car that has the 4th gen hybrid, and it's just not as good. All right, so you have all these small behind the scenes tweaks that Toyota has made to this vehicle for 2025 and beyond. All right, they refined the steering, they refined the handling, and in the SE package you can get Sport Tune suspension. I don't want it. To me, I just love how soft and cushy this ride is on the base LE. All right, the NVH in here is crazy. It's so, like, I'm gonna take my sandal off so I can feel the lack of NVH. Hardly any vibration coming through the pedal, hardly any coming through the floor, none coming really through the steering wheel. So it's a luxury car in sheep's clothing. Like, it's just unbelievably good from an NVH perspective. And if you blindfolded me, told me I'm an Lexus, I'd believe you, except for the seat. This is not a Lexus quality seat. If you want the most comfort, you're gonna have to go for a Lexus, okay? But essentially we have all that Lexus refinement and luxury from a driver's perspective baked into the cheapest Camry, and it's just so good. It makes me so happy. And then when I look down and I'm in fully electric, just cruising, I know I'm getting insane fuel economy. I mentioned the materials in here, and the materials are good, like soft touch dash. I love this fabric. I'm a big sucker for fabric on the door panels here, on the dash. It is fantastic. The ergonomics, like I said, are just insane. Volume knob. How many, like I was just in a Mercedes-Benz this week. It didn't have a freaking volume knob. I was in an ID Buzz the week before. It didn't have a volume knob. Volume knob's right here. Climate control buttons are not baked into the touchscreen, all right? This is perfect, all right? Are rotary dials technically better? Yes, but that's splitting hairs because Toyota's real simple and basic switches here for the climate control it's great, all right? I'm not gonna complain about it. It is super minimal, it's pleasing to the eye, and most importantly, it's functional and safe, and I don't have to fumble through a touchscreen. The traditional shifter here, they could have gone where Lexus has gone with all their shifters, which is a shift-by-wire little nub of a shifter, and it's not luxurious and it doesn't feel quality. I don't care how much stitching or leather wrap you put on a tiny little shifter in a Lexus. This is a real shifter. This is meaty. Oh, and I forget, if you slap it into S, it'll actually mimic gears and you can row through gears. I totally forgot about that because you don't need to do that, all right? You can't believe you have that option here on the base Camry to simulate gears. It's just kind of hilarious. Cup holders are an absolutely perfect spot. Phone charger, perfect spot. Tons of storage space up here. USB-Cs up here. I also have a 12 volt in here, and guess what? It's even like carpet lined inside this really cozy armrest. I've been in so many cars lately that cheap out. Ooh, I get to get in the regen brakes here. Some people don't like the brakes on the Camry. I think it's better than the previous gen. It's not the most satisfying, punchy, like strong brake feel, but it's so much better than previous generation of Toyota hybrids that it gets a full pass for me. But like so many cars I've been in lately, even luxury cars, they'll have cheap armrests that your elbows are just uncomfortable with. Not in the Camry LE. These things are pillows, absolutely fantastic, and they're going to last the test of time. It's 85 degrees out, still just one fan speed. I have the temperature all the way down, but it's chilly in here. It's fantastic. There's so many cars nowadays, probably for emissions reasons or whatnot, that don't have good AC systems. And the cheapest Camry has one of the best AC systems money can buy. It's just an absolute home run. Okay, I even have a sunglasses holder. All right, how many luxury cars don't even have a sunglasses holder? But not only that, it is rubber lined, so your sunglasses are not going to be bouncing around. You have a vanity mirror with an LED light above. What about the passenger side? Yes, that has an LED light, and it also has an extension. Look at this, all right? So if I push it to the side, they didn't cheap out. I have a visor extension here built into my sun visor. So you guys know I can gush about this Camry, and I have been this whole review. I do think it's the best Camry ever made. And we will see these things in 20 years from now still running. This 5th gen hybrid is a masterpiece of internal combustion, incredible fuel efficiency. It's got just a small 1 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery, and in 20 years from now, I bet like you could outfit this thing with a much more potent battery and extend the longevity and improve the fuel economy with like a solid state battery or something like that. So like there's an upgrade path even with this car down the road. And so the Camry LE is the best car I think on the market. It's the best Camry ever made.
Looking at Camrys in my area, there's almost 1,500. They're widely available. That means you can probably whittle them down. Look at this. We're seeing discounts, guys, on the Camry, even on like the LE. That's a bargain basement. Look at the numbers here. The most is the SE. And the SE, yes, you're going to get 99% of the same smoothness and greatness of the LE. It's going to cost a little bit more, and you get cooler looking wheels. I know some people can't stand the wheels on the LE, and they'll get the SE just because I get it. That's fine. All right. But the LE to me is one I would be getting. Save some money. And let's look at the lowest prices you can get them. 28,000. 28.3. Again, I like to have my heated seat package, heated steering wheel. That really is going to bring up the prices, but it gives you that nice level of luxury that the vehicle is kind of missing. All right. So also, let's see, keyless entry. You guys, you can get it for $32K. Keyless entry, heated seats, heated steering wheel, leather steering wheel. You get the digital, sorry, not the digital rear mirror, the auto dimming rear view mirror on it, the power front seat as well. It's just so good. But even without those things, it's still a fantastic vehicle. But it's nice to get a little bit of luxury for a low price. All right, so $32K is kind of where I would like to be, but you can get them without those niceties like standard entry, using a key or a key fob to lock or unlock the doors, and then not getting that leather steering wheel. You can get it as low as $28K. Such a good car. And in fact, would I look at anything else? Well, let's look at its chief rivals. Accord hybrid. There's a third of the Accord hybrids. Remember, because the Accord's only about 50% sales volume as the hybrid. The other is the terrible CVT turbo combo. And here we are, 34K. Let's see what kind of prices. They essentially have to sell for Toyota-ish prices here, but it's so ugly. And the wheels here, the ride quality isn't as good. Is it smooth? Yes, it's comfortable, but I'm telling you, the luxury, when you compare the base sport hybrid here versus the LE, it's not even close, all right? When you get to the top, the sport touring versus Toyota's XLE, the Accord does do quite well in terms of luxury and refinement, but I'd take a Camry every day of the week, especially when you're comparing base grade hybrid to base grade hybrid. Oh, and also the Accord gets far worse fuel economy than the Camry as well. What about the Hyundai Elantra? Not the Elantra. The Elantra's bigger brother. The Sonata hybrid. There's only 293. Let's look at, and you're probably going to get equal, if not slightly better equipment here. And it does maybe look a little cooler than the Camry. I don't know if the looks will age as well as the Camrys, but look at the deals you can have. That's definitely worth consideration. $26K for an entry-level Sonata hybrid. I think that's a fantastic deal, and I'd pick this probably over the Accord and save like $6,000 or whatever the difference is. This is a really good deal, but the thing is, there are just so many Camrys available, and you can cross-shop them, but the Camry gets better fuel economy than this, although it's close. The Camry has a superior drivetrain to this, more power, and the Camry gets, like I said, better fuel economy, and it'll be more reliable long term, more than likely. I mean, I can't say enough good things about the Camry. Obviously, I've just been enamored the whole video. It's S tier. It's one of the best cars. It's a bit if it's not the best Camry of all time, I'd like to see you guys challenge me down below. I understand you love your V6s. V6s are great. I love a V6. It's just that the hybrid Camry that we have now has zero compromise in the powertrain, in my opinion. It's going to be reliable. It's quick enough. Optional all-wheel drive. You have crazy fuel economy. It's so quiet. It's so smooth. And it comes in for bargain basement pricing. All right, so where is it at? I mean, it's S tier, so I mean, I like it more than a 4Runner. Do I like it more than a Maverick hybrid? It's in the same ballpark as Maverick hybrid. However, it is smoother and quieter than the Maverick hybrid, but the Maverick hybrid's a truck, so it's just, essentially the Maverick is the same thing as the Camry, just in a truck form, and it's just an amazing vehicle as well. All right, Suburban made it S tier. You can see all my cars in the S tier. It's like, take my money. They're so good. If you're even thinking about buying it, just do it. Some of you will argue that, hey, 4Runner, I don't like the powertrain. I enjoy the non-hybrid powertrain on the 4Runner, and I think it drives really well in the SR5 trim, but I know a lot of people just don't like the looks of the 4Runner. I get it. But the Armada's up there. Suburban was great. Frontier, best midsize pickup truck. Best minivan is a Honda Odyssey. Best performance EV is Ioniq 5. Best performance sedan CT5 V Series Blackwing, Z Performance, not the best performance coupe by any means, but it just had so much charm and character that it made it to the S tier. XC90, one of the best 3-row, if not the best 3-row luxury crossover on the market. The GV80 right up there with it. It just does some things better than the Volvo, right? They're direct competitors for sure, but like I love them both so much. Elantra N, one of the most fun cars money could buy. Okay, so S tier. Here we are. Many of you were asking when I made my follow-up video, like I've reviewed over 50 cars already in 2025. Many of you are asking, where's the Camry? Where's the Camry LE? Well, I hadn't reviewed it yet this year. I reviewed it late last year, so it wasn't on my 2025 spreadsheet. I think my mom's running the blender. So the Camry LE, and even every single trim of the Camry is going to be S tier. It's just the LE is the best of the best. It gives you so much value for money, and it just, for a base trim, it shouldn't have such a good sound system. It shouldn't be as quiet. It shouldn't have as good ride quality. It shouldn't do all of these things. It's a Lexus without a Lexus badge, Lexus seats, and maybe some of the materials aren't as good as some Lexus models, but like blindfold me, you would think you're in a Lexus and you're only spending $30K. All right. It's just out of this world good vehicle. It's the best Camry of all time. I'll see you guys in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.